Hello and welcome back to the Cinema Wave podcast. It is I, your host today, Vinny Albano. I am joined with my co-host, Mark Jacopino.
It's good to be back in the studio, Vinny.
Yes, it has been a very long time. We are talking about the new episode of JJK, the Culling Games episode 10. This is Megumi versus Reggie, as well as his goons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been such a minute because we audiences who are watching, we had a skunk infestation in this studio. But we are finally back and I'm really excited to talk about this episode because again, JJK is delivering week by week. And this was again, I think one of my favorite action set pieces from JJK. So I want to first get your initial thoughts and what you thought of this episode.
Yeah, I think from an animation perspective and the fights itself was awesome. I thought the set piece, like you said, is so cool. I thought, the way they move through the different environments, all the different powers being on display was really cool. That fight with Megumi in the small room where he's bouncing that guy between the walls. I thought that was so well choreographed. I think the only issue with me for this episode is that I didn't really care about any of the characters except for Megumi. And I really like to be invested in the characters. So I am excited to see the next episode because we get this big, moment for Megumi, and it's good to see him back on screen. But I think watching this episode, I was more in it for the spectacle and less of the character work, which I think I was missing from the previous weeks, which was amazing with Higuruma and Yuji.
I agree with you. I do really love this episode, and the animation and the spectacle is so awesome. But I do agree that I think Gege for sure has favorites. Higuruma is a favorite of his. You can tell that there's so much effort and time put into his backstory, but I also am a lot more forgiving for them because there is a lot of the interest for me within the Culling Games is the spectacle of like, yo, let's just get fighting, and this is that, I think a exceptional author could do what he did with Higuruma every single fight. Not calling that Gege isn't exceptional, but I personally, this might be a hot take off the gate. I know we just started. I don't think JJK is of that upper echelon of like character writing. You know what I mean? It's good, but I don't see that for every fight. But what was given to us in this fight, though, I still love, and I also want to talk about Takaba.
Yeah,
because he's here.
I mean, this is your type of zany anime stuff. So I was watching this episode. I'm like, Vinny's probably eating this shit up because you got this weird guy that's like half naked, literally half naked. Yep. You got this guy that's just throwing body parts and making them bombs. You got a little chainsaw man in there for Vinny. You got this weird guy making jokes. And I'm just like, this is Vinny's episode. I'm here to talk about it, but I'm like, this is Vinny's episode.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best way to describe it. I love his introduction when he was introduced in episode 3, I think it was, right? When we see a little bit of his backstory of him as a failed comedian. And now he's here.
Oh, that's this guy. I swear, I just thought this was a new guy that was just hanging out.
No.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and then now here you see that it's similar to Higuruma, but in a more positive light, where the Culling Games has given him purpose in this type of way. He was so depressed the last time we saw him, but now he could be this epic, powerful comedian, and arguably also the most powerful in the verse ? Because anything he thinks is funny, he could essentially make reality, which is. I mean, if he really knew what he was doing, because I also, this is up to debate, but I remember when I was reading the manga, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know he's aware of his curse technique. He just does funny shit and it happens and he's like, oh, that was funny.
Okay. All right.
Let's make a joke out of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to see a little bit more out of him to understand the whole like process of his fighting technique, but we
Yeah.
get those moments where he kind of loads up for something and everyone's just waiting and everyone's confused and that's where the comedy gets injected. Um and there's that one shot that was really really just an insane moment where the little thing is like covering his junk and
Oh
then it
yeah.
moves and I was like, "Oh, really? We're
It-
doing this?"
yeah, that happened in the manga a handful of times. That's also a reason I love the
Handful of times.
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
And that's like the whole quirk of his character is that his balls just keep slipping out.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So, but I think that's epic, man. I think that's so cool. Like,
It's just such
yeah.
a. It's so JJK is so interesting because it tries to do those things where it's super funny and silly like Don Don, but
Hmm.
it's set in this like extremely dark universe with this world just falling apart and cursed energy being a power system based on negative feelings. And
Yeah.
sometimes that clashes for me. It works with the camaraderie between the classmates, but then when they introduce characters like this on the outside, I feel like there was something in Shibuya, maybe the grasshopper guy, and it just kind of takes me out of it a bit. I'm more into the darker versions of JJK,
Hmm.
but I understand you do need to inject some levity in every once in a while.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I totally get that. I don't think there was much else I wanted to say about Takaba, except for you brought up the awkward moment, which
Yes.
I think is so well done. I think it's directed so well because it goes on for so long, and every single character is like animated with the most minute details and
Mm-hmm.
facial expressions, and it really makes it feel awkward to the audience, which I think is perfect.
Yeah.
Like you feel it. It's just I thought that was so funny. It felt very like office like in a
Mm-hmm.
way, you know.
Yeah, and they also do the uh what's the word, the drawing of it, like it's like a hand
Yeah,
drawing by a child as the setup. And yeah, that reminded me of like Neon Genesis those last couple episodes.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I liked him. It was cool to see him kind of step in. What really got me this episode was Megumi killing someone. That
yes,
was like
yeah,
a moment that happened really quick and I was like, oh shit, he just went there. And I feel like him and Yuji had not like a pact, but they were kind of against killing people, and he just kind of shed that and said,
yeah,
"No, I'm taking this guy out. I don't really care." And seeing that kind of locked me in, and it seems like, now with his domain expansion at the end of this, we're going to see Megumi maybe slip a little bit into the
yeah,
darkness. I know, he's in Sukuna's eye, like Sukuna wants to use him, and the closer he gets to that darkness, the more likely that's going to happen. So I think that's the direction we're heading, and
hmm.
I like to see that because Yuji's so good and he's so much of a light in the universe, and seeing his best friend or someone that he considers, very close, potentially slipping, it's very
Yeah.
cool, and it also mirrors Gojo and Geto. So that would be
Oh
really
yeah.
cool to see.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Sasuke. And I know
Yes, yeah,
his type of character and his type of uh
true.
trope, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as a deuteragonist is common within anime, right? Like from the beginning we foreshadowed that he's darker and edgy and he has this like he might like Naruto, how Oshimaru was
Mm-hmm.
chose Sasuke and kind of
Yep.
like was festering upon his
Mm-hmm.
slippage through his sense of morality.
Yep.
I agree. I also personally really love that kill. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's animated so well. I think it's brutal as hell,
Oh yeah.
and I think it's just it's one of those moments where it's there's a part of me where it's like, oh yeah, that was sick, and then also like you said, where holy shit, like there's gravity to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's good that it's not in your face. It just kind of happens and they move on from it, but
yeah,
you do feel that weight. And I saw a cool edit where they cut between him smashing the guy's face and then
mm,
Toji doing the same thing to someone. It's like
yeah,
father like son, and he has that capability of darkness like Toji. So you know it's kind of endless possibilities with what Megami can do.
yeah, yeah, and I agree. I agree. I want to talk about Reggie too.
Yeah, Receipt Man.
So you said you were disturbed by him previously.
Yeah.
What do you think about him here and his ability and the fight that comes with what he does?
I think he's an intimidating villain and matchup for Megumi. I was actually impressed with how they did his technique. I like that they, JJK still did its over explaining. I don't think they needed to do that much. I think it was pretty obvious what his technique was by the way he was throwing stuff and the receipts turning into the items. I thought that was pretty straightforward, but I still found him to be very intimidating, and that was important because Megumi is intimidating in his own right. So you have to, match that energy, and I think he did really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's another one where someone made a meme online of there's a possibility that he could also be one of the most powerful people in the verses because someone brought up, oh, what if he got the receipt to the nuclear bomb? Like, that's a real thing that exists. So
someone had to pay for it.
Yeah. So, like, that could happen, and that makes me wonder the extent or the possibilities, the what ifs behind his character. I do want to say I don't really have much to say about his character except for that I think he's cool.
Yeah.
I think he plays as a good foe to Megumi in this moment, but I really love again the Gashuzano as well as the animation team, the way they elevate things, right? When he's talking with Megumi, they set it in a church. And this was not in the manga. They set it in the church. They add these moments like him surfing, him like the scaffolding that was like being destroyed while he's running on it, or even silly little things like when he's on the bike, he has a hat on, and in the manga he didn't have a helmet on. So I was like, yo, safety first, and that's great.
Well, it's a great addition to the character because it adds just a level of cockiness to him. He's like, he has time. Like, I'll throw a helmet on because I think I can beat this guy so easily, and his technique doesn't intimidate me. But I think that does elevate the character as a villain, which is really cool. And seeing Megumi kind of cycle all of his different summons was really cool. I don't think we've really seen him go that hard before with his summons. Typically, we would see him do like one or two. But here we see him doing the elephant one, and then the frogs, and then he has the owl. Yeah. The wolf obviously got hurt, but just seeing him kind of play with them and the choreography with it was just so interesting. And I love the way they shot, certain ones different ways. The elephant, when it comes out of the building, it's like towering, and the camera's so low, and you could just feel the size of it. And it all builds to a moment where you're like, wow, he's really like doing this pretty effortlessly. And then the guy calls him out. He's like, you're probably tired, right? Because you've been doing all this. And, Megumi's just like holding it together. And he's got a cool scar now, or facial burn, which is another thing that I feel like has happened to a lot of the main characters. Maki, Yuji, everyone's kind of carrying these scars forward, which is cool. It's good when characters kind of go through a physical evolution as well as a emotional one.
I love that. I always love that in TV shows and anime when their scars are left behind.
Yes.
I mean, I'm wearing the Berserk shirt, but I love in Berserk where there is a message to the scar on his nose, and then there's the message to things that are happening in the story. He loses an arm, he loses an eye, and then later when he uses the Dragon Slayer armor, he has the like white patch in his hair. Like, I love that in storytelling. There's so much growth just in the transformation of the character. Berserker armor.
They were gonna come after you.
Yeah, Berserker armor, not Dragon Slayer armor. Dragon Slayer's the sword.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Aang, like at the end of Avatar Season 2, he has the scar on his back from when he got too confident. Like, again, it's so deeply rooted in what the character is, and I like that JJK has kind of done that for all of its characters at this point. And I'm very curious to see not only how this domain works, but how long this fight ends up going on in the next episode, because now this guy's in the domain. He's super confident now, he's inside the domain. We don't know what Megumi's domain does. I don't think we do, right?
We saw a partial domain
With
uh
Maharaga, was that
in
was that just a
season 1
okay?
when he was versing the finger bearer.
Mm,
And that was the first thing that when we were talking about how it was always foreshadows darker
yeah,
elements of Megumi. And in there he was like that's like where the one shot where he's like has the huge smile
that's
and
right. That's right.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'm
Mm.
excited to see the full expansion now.
Yeah.
I don't think Reggie's gonna fare too well, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, me neither. I'm excited. I really am. I yeah, I really don't have much else to say about that. I am really like I'm curious too because I forget what happens
That's good.
in the manga. It was so long ago. I forget how this fight concludes.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the last episode of this part after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy, right?
so one more episode of this fight and
Mm-hmm.
then one more episode of the entire season and then we're
Yeah.
done.
And then you said it's out till 2027, right? That's
Yeah.
the rumors.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's brutal for 12 episodes, especially because in previous seasons of JJK, they finished up the story at the end of the season. This is the first
Yeah.
time they're kind of leaving it open ended and waiting 2 years, which sucks, but I know it's probably because of the whole animator fiasco. Shibuya, like every week there was a new post like these animators are not sleeping, they're not
Yeah.
getting enough rest, they're not eating, but we're still getting peak every week, and people were like, delay the episode, and other people were like, fuck that, keep releasing shit, this is amazing.
Yes.
So I very much think that feedback was taken to heart, which is good. It's the way the industry should be, but I think it's also fair for us to be like, damn, 2 years for 12 more episodes is brutal.
Oh yeah, I don't have much else to say. I do want to shout out a couple key
Yes.
animators,
Yes.
specifically Nahu, as well as another animator who unfortunately is not named here, but it was confirmed that Nahu was a part of this cut of animation. The sequence when Reggie in the gymnasium has like this bundle of receipts in his hand and he like fires like almost like a kamehameha
Mhm.
of just appliances.
Yeah.
I that's another thing. I love the way they display his curse technique.
Mhm.
I just love how like it just instantly pops in. There's something so satisfying and almost video game-esque of these appliances popping in. There's no like special effect or there's no like big
Yep.
oh, they're here. They literally just like one frame they're there and then one frame it's there now. And I love how that was illustrated with that wide shot of him like calling back the appliances
Yes.
and furniture and whatnot, and how it's just like,
Mhm.
and it literally looks like a video game of like renderings
Yeah.
like going in and
Things
out or
popping
something.
in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I totally agree. It was super, super satisfying.
Oh yes, and I also wanted to shout out animator who has been credited as Bluru. I think that's his Twitter handle. He animated the Megumi kill, and that I mean that's like we said, it was
That was hype.
awesome. So he animated that, and
I like how they all have aliases. Like they never go by their name. It's all just like random names. The one guy's like Vince. Oh, that guy Vincent, I think, has like his full name. But
Vincent
then
Chazard.
there's other
Yeah.
people that are just like 41 or something like.
Oh
just
yes.
aliases.
Yeah. However, this man does not have an alias. Toshiyuki Sato animated the Takaba introduction and the epic children's illustration.
Oh,
So-
nice.
So I had to shout him out too. But other than that, do you have anything to talk about?
No, I don't, but I do want to say that I feel vindicated for us because there's been
Yeah.
so many memes online about JJK over explaining and them using the Culling Games music where it's like you're watching JJK and then you need to lock in and it's like dun dun dun, and I feel so
Yeah.
vindicated because all the people in our comments were like, you guys can't read, like, bro, is reading that hard? And I'm just like, come on, like No, we're watching a visual medium. We can't be writing paragraphs,
Yes.
over explaining stuff. And I'm glad people are finally catching up.
Yeah, you hear that, audience?
Yes,
You hear that?
please.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Not that we are immune or not immune. Not that, criticism is all right. Critique
Yes.
me all you want.
Please do.
But yeah, it was crazy. That one episode was crazy because we were like, yo, this is like, even when I read the manga, I was like, this is not optimal. Like,
No.
you could have done this in 101 million ways. But anyhow, I don't want to.
I just wanted to bring it up because I was like, I feel vindicated because the whole internet is starting to turn around.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our review and discussion of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 10. I hope you guys can join us for not only episode 11, but the conclusion episode. We cover this week by week, every Thursday night after it releases in the afternoon. So if you liked our content here, remember to subscribe and comment down below your thoughts. We like to have a discussion down below. And also check out our social medias down below. We have similar content like this one on here and the other content on our channel. So check those out. We're covering JJK here. We're going to be covering a lot. There's so much coming out. Mario, Peaky Blinders is coming out. So much movie, cinema, anime. Free Ren is going to be wrapping up in probably like 5 weeks.
Couple weeks, yeah.
So that's going to be fun. And yeah, that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed. It has been Vinny Albano.
I've been Mark Jacobino.
And I'll see you guys next time.
This is the culture.